When my fiance told me that they were buying £1,000 cars and driving to the Nürburgring for his stag do, I was beyond jealous. And then when my cameraman came home with this absolute bad boy, I knew I had to drive it. This is a 2001 Mercedes SLK 320 Auto. It's got a 3.2 litre V6 absolute beast of an engine, putting out 215 brake horsepower, but as you can see, the stickers add at least 50 horsepower and 310 Newton meters of torque. You'll get from 0 to 60 in 6.7 seconds, aka 3 to 5 business days, and a top speed of 150 mile an hour. Now it weighs in at 1,400 kilos, which by today's standards is actually pretty light. So I'm hoping it's going to be quite nice and nimble on the twisty roads, but we will see. Right, boot space. Now it's not going to have as much room in it as it would if we didn't have the roof down. So we're actually going to show you the boot space twice, but with the roof down, still not too bad, to be fair. You've got a decent amount of room, it's just getting it in is a bit of a problem. Also, just while I'm here, we have got the AMG exhaust. We've also got these lovely stickers of my fiance. If you're into racing, go and follow him, VXR Track Addict. Awful photo, well done. And these lovely, lovely AMG wheels. Let's have a look inside. All right, so interior wise, you can see this is worse for wear, maybe is the word, but it's actually quite a modern car for the time. So in terms of storage, we've got these pockets everywhere. We've got them in the door cards, behind the seat down here. We've then got a decent amount of storage in the armrest, another little cubby hole here, another little cubby hole here, and then a decent sized glove box. Right, buttons wise, we have just the normal stuff that you'd expect in most cars. Again, for the age, this is actually quite advanced. But in this particular car, we've got an upgraded stereo. We've also got a Android Auto system, which you can buy for 46 quid on Amazon, is that right? That obviously doesn't come as standard, but it's cheap to upgrade. We've then got really, really cool gear stick. Someone's put a Momo gear stick on it, and I want that. And then we also have the roof button just here, which try not to pull it off. But for a 25-year-old car, the roof actually works, and I'm about to demonstrate it now. So as mentioned earlier, when the roof is up, you do have a lot more boot space. Steering wheel is nice and leather, feels absolutely huge. Other than that, not a lot to talk about. The dashboard is very analog still. You've got a couple of digital bits on it, but nothing like new cars as expected. Anyway, enough about the interior. Let's take it for a drive. Okay, so things I don't like about this car. Firstly, there is a knocking somewhere on the interior and I cannot find it. It's doing my head in. Second thing is where the indicator placement is. Now, you haven't got any stalk on the right hand side of the steering wheel. You've only got a what is essentially a cruise control kind of limiter stalk, and then just below that you've got your indicator and wipers and absolutely everything on one stalk. And I keep pressing the limiter cruise control stalk to do anything when I want to indicate, so I'm trying to indicate with the cruise control limiter stalk instead of the actual indicator. And then the third thing is the fact that it is laggy as hell. Now, I have to remember that this is a 215 horsepower car. It's also 25 years old. It also cost £1,000. It's been bought for a stag do, which I'll tell you about later. But just to demonstrate this, if I put my foot down now, so I'm going to get in a straight line, put my foot down and wait. Okay, it's only just started picking up. It is so laggy, it's unreal. But other than that, as I said, car cost £1,000, it's nearly 25 years old and it was bought for a stag do. There is nothing else about this car that I don't like. It is fantastic for the money. Now, because it is an old car, it hasn't got sound deadening and everything that I would imagine is in the newer cars. However, and so I can imagine that the exhaust would start to get a bit drony after a while. However, my God, does it sound good? Let me just quickly demonstrate. How good does that sound? It sounds like, I mean, let's just wait for it to pick up. It sounds like an old beefy V8. Do you know what I mean? It just, yeah, it sounds fantastic. But as I said, I can imagine the exhaust starting to get a bit drony on a long motorway. And again, you don't have the option to close the exhaust valves like you do on a lot of newer cars. It also smells of old car as well. We've just got this leather everywhere, and it just, you know when you put your head in something that's like 30, 40 years old, and it's just, there's a smell that you can't replicate with new cars. It smells like that. And again, I know it's a lot younger, but my God, could I just live in here? And I don't know, just leave my nose in here and then like connect it to my face somehow so that I can just smell this all day, every day, and I'd die happy. Other than that, it's actually very, very, very comfortable. Feels, and again, I know it's an older car, the interior is absolutely foobarred, but I can imagine new, and even now, it's very comfortable for just pootling around town in. You know, I'm doing 60 mile an hour. To be fair, it doesn't actually feel like I'm doing 60 mile an hour. It feels like I'm doing about 40. I'm very comfortable. I'm very happy doing these kinds of speeds. Don't feel like I need to be going any faster. I don't feel like it's willing me to be hooning absolutely everywhere. It's just, it is actually a really nice place to be. Even now, I'm saying that. And the other cars that I've driven, by their standards, it's still actually a very luxurious and comfortable car to be in. We also have electric seats, which I'm just going to point out. There is not one, everything is controlled on button. There is not one mechanical movement on this seat. I can do forwards, backwards, up, down, back, up, down, literally everything on buttons, right? Which is more than I can say for the £55,000 Audi 24 plate that I've just got rid of. Like, what an absolute piss take. The heater also very much works. Can't really say the same for the cold air. You can basically have hot air, and I mean hot air, or mildly lukewarm air. But you, from what I've seen and from what I've been playing around with this, you cannot have cold air. There's also no aircon. However, you do have a roof that goes down for that. So do you really need aircon? I'd probably say no. And the roof does very much work as well. I've been driving around with the roof down pretty much all morning and it's not missed a beat. It's been absolutely perfect. Goes up and down first time. No stoppages, no, oh, is it going to go up or is it going to go down? It's absolutely perfect. No dramas whatsoever with that. So I said earlier that this car was bought for a stag do. And that is my other half stag do, funnily enough. He's gone and bought himself a Daimler limo, which we weren't sure if it was going to get there and if he was going to have to buy another car, but it looks like it's been fixed now. But the idea is that they're basically driving over to the Nurburgring and everyone is going in £1,000 car or less. So you can go and buy a car for £1,000 or less and then they're driving over to the Nurburgring. Got to do a lap of the Nürburgring and then they're basically driving home. Bit more to it than that, obviously, but that's essentially the premise. I am so jealous. I'm trying to figure out ways, if anyone's got any ideas, although I think by the time this video comes out, they'll be on the stag do, but I'm trying to find ways of just putting myself in someone's boot or suitcase, and then when they get there, just jumping out like, hi, I'm here, I've got to stay here now, get me involved. Like, yeah, I'm so jealous. And I have to say, I think that in terms of fun and the sort of car that I'd want to drive to the Nürburgring, do a lap and drive home again, this is definitely the one that I'd want to drive. I think the other cars that they've been getting are fine, but a lot of them are a bit boaty, whereas this is like, you know, proper little sports car, I think. Right, anyway, that's enough of me chatting. Let's go and find a twisty road and see how it handles. Jesus Christ, it is so gutless, it's unreal. Come on! Right, twisty road found. I'm not going to put it into manual because I've been told that once you put it into manual, you cannot get it out of manual. So I'm going to leave it in auto. If anyone who owns one or knows anything about them knows whether this is an issue with them or whether it is specific to this car, if you could let me know in the comments, that'd be great. Right, let's go. Oh, okay. It's actually quite quick on pickup when you go from a standing start. Brakes are good. Brakes are much better than I thought they'd be. It's very planted. Okay, so one thing I don't like is when you put your foot down and you're kind of round a corner, it takes a while to change down gear and it still feels a bit flat, so you're kind of waiting for it to go and then it doesn't actually do anything until you're out of the corner and you're past that point of wanting to power out of it. feedback through the steering wheel that isn't a huge amount, but it is a German car, and in my experience, German cars do not have a lot of feedback through the steering wheel. You don't get a lot of experience in them, with the exception of some, and I mean some Porsches and BMWs. Again, from what I've experienced, I'm sure I'm going to get hate in the comments. Don't care, that's my experience. Does feel very, very, very planted. Gives you a lot of confidence early on to really kind of just chuck it round a corner. Take the racing line, nice. No slip, lovely. Now, when I first got in this car, I did think it felt a bit like a boat. The steering wheel feels huge. It felt a bit, kind of turn it and wait for it. But actually, once you start pushing it on and the more you drive it, the better it gets. And generally, all of my sounds so good. Generally, all of my favourite things are things that grow on me. Keep your mind out the gutter, people. But yeah, it's one of those cars that you can poodle around in. You don't particularly need to be going very fast to have a lot of fun in. You can put the roof down, go for a brisk drive, and still have an absolutely fantastic time. So yeah, I mean, I absolutely love this car. I really, really do. As I said, I've become very, very fond of it. And would I own one? Probably, for £1,000. I mean, it's an absolute steal in my opinion. Fun factor, I'm gonna give it a, oh man, I'm gonna give it a 7. It's not an 8 on its own. Now, this is in its own right. I'm gonna give it a 7. If I was coming into this car, I didn't know how much it cost, I didn't know how old it was, blah, 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 it would get a 7. However, for what it's for, and in the context of why this car has been purchased, I'm 100% giving it a 10. I've actually become very, very, very fond of this car. Emotionally, for me, it's a 10. Practicality, I'm going to go with a 7. Again, it's actually really practical. You could definitely daily it. I mean, you might be wondering whether it's going to break down every 5 minutes, but, you know, for what the car is, you could definitely drive this every single day. Boot space is all right. It's obviously a bit less if you put the roof down, but it's still quite big. Very, very comfortable pootling around at 60 mile an hour. Yeah, I mean, I would daily this, personally. Keep your supercars. I am picking a 200 horsepower sports car with the roof down on a relatively nice day. Life does not get better than this. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe and turn on your notifications, and I'll see you next week. Probably time attack next week, actually. Hopefully I've won the championship.